I was driving from Georgia back to Ohio after visiting one of my cousins. It was a 12-hour drive, and I thought I could handle it without stopping. But somewhere around midnight, I started catching myself, drifting between lanes. I knew I needed sleep before I killed myself or someone else. I got off at a random exit in Kentucky, the kind with a gas station, a Waffle House, and one lonely motel sitting behind them all. The motel looked abandoned at first. Only 3 cars in the parking lot. Half the neon sign was burned out. The office had this buzzing fluorescent light that made everything look sickly green. I almost left immediately, but I was exhausted. The old man at the front desk barely spoke. He slid the room key toward me and kept watching this tiny TV beside him without looking up. I asked if the place was usually this empty. He shrugged and said, "Depends on the night." That answer somehow made me more uncomfortable. My room was upstairs near the ice machine. The hallway smelled damp, like old carpet and cigarettes. Inside the room honestly wasn't terrible, just old. The AC rattled loudly every few seconds like there was something loose inside it. I locked the door twice, shut the curtains, and laid down fully clothed, because I planned on leaving early anyway. I was scrolling through TikTok for maybe 15 minutes before I heard footsteps outside. Slow footsteps, not walking past, stopping, right outside my door. I froze and stared toward it. Then the footsteps continued again. A few seconds later, I heard them upstairs again, then downstairs, then upstairs again. Like someone was pacing the entire motel. At first, I thought maybe it was another guest smoking outside or something, but after 10 minutes, the pacing still hadn't stopped. I muted my phone and listened carefully. That's when I realized something weird. Every time the footsteps reached my door, they paused longer than everywhere else. I got up quietly and looked through the peephole. Nobody. But I could still hear movement. Then I realized why. The person was standing directly against the wall beside my door where the peephole couldn't see them. I backed away immediately. I remember my chest starting to pound because now I knew whoever it was had probably heard me walk to the door too. For maybe 30 seconds, there was complete silence. Then I heard breathing, not loud, just enough to hear through the thin motel door. I didn't move. Then came 3 soft knocks. Not normal knocking, almost gentle. Then a man's voice said quietly, "Wrong room." I didn't answer. A few seconds later, he said the exact same thing again, same tone, same timing, like he was rehearsing it. I grabbed my phone, ready to call the front desk, but before I could, the guy outside suddenly laughed. Not loudly, just under his breath. Then I heard footsteps walking away. I waited maybe 2 minutes before checking the peephole again. The walkway was empty. I remember feeling stupid for panicking so hard. I even started convincing myself the guy might have genuinely had the wrong room. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it immediately. 5 seconds later, another text came through. "You should lock your window too." My entire body went cold. I had never given the motel my phone number at the desk. I booked online earlier that day. I rushed toward the window beside the bed. The curtains were shut, but the lock on the window was slightly lifted open. I know for a fact I never touched it. I grabbed a chair and shoved it against the window while calling the front office. Nobody answered. I called again. Still nothing. That's when I heard footsteps outside again. Except this time they weren't on the walkway. They were directly beneath my window. I turned every light off in the room and crouched beside the bed, trying not to make noise. Then came another text. I can hear you moving." I didn't sleep at all that night. Around 5:30 in the morning, I finally heard cars outside and sunlight started creeping through the curtains. I packed everything in under 2 minutes and practically ran to my car. The office was locked up completely. No worker, no lights, nothing. As I was throwing my bag into the passenger seat, I noticed someone standing upstairs near room 12 watching me. Tall guy, gray hoodie, completely still. The distance was too far to make out his face clearly, but I knew it was him. The second I got inside my car and locked the doors, he raised one hand slowly and waved. I sped out of there so fast I almost missed the exit back onto the highway. I still think about that text message sometimes, especially the part about the window, because that means at some point during the night, he had already been close enough to touch it